If you're planning to start investing in 2026, I will share with you three things that I would recommend you do in preparation for the year 2026, and hopefully you can get to achieve your goals and achieve that financial freedom that you'd set out to achieve, that at least you're planning to achieve. There are key three things or three main factors that will determine how quickly you would reach your goals and hopefully sustain those goals for the long term. The three main things. And I think this video will hopefully try to explain those three things to you in a way that you can truly understand it and it can be all clear, and hopefully you walk away from this video knowing that you've learned something. If you're new here, thanks for watching this video. Now, the first thing that I would like to say is that in any investment that you put your money into, you know that there's always a chance that you could lose money. Hence the reason why you have to do your due diligence. You have to maybe look into what that investment is all about and what is the potential return you have to make from that investment. Because if you do not do any of those things and you're just relying on what other people are telling you about it, there's a chance that you can actually lose money. And that is because, well, people would interpret facts and rumors differently. Some people will tell you, oh, put your money in, you make 50%, make 100%. That is a very quick way for you to lose money. Realistically speaking, if you're planning to invest in the stock market, your average rate of return should be around 8 to 10% per year. In the past couple of years, the stock market has done really well, and that doesn't mean that it will continue into 2026. But it is something that you definitely can bank on, at least expect that based on historical returns, 8% is a very conservative and somewhat realistic number to expect. Now, with that expectation, that means that whatever you put in the stock market, think about it as, if I get 8% on this money, am I happy with that return? Am I okay with that? And am I going to wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, I'm tired of getting 8%, let me go find 50%, 100%. There's nothing wrong with finding investments that will make you money, but you have to remember that the higher the returns are, the likely, the higher the chances of you losing money as well. Which means that if you are expecting 50% return on something, 100% return on something, just know that just as how you could quickly make 100%, you can as well lose out money completely. So that leads to the first thing. Set a right expectation about what you want to get in return, and make sure that whatever you put in the stock market or that you plan to invest is something you can put in for the long term. Long-term investing beats any type of other investment you can put out there. Why? Because of compound interest. And that is something that I don't have to explain it to you, but pretty much your interest making money for you. So if you put in $1,000 or $10,000, let's just use $1,000, right? And you make 8%, okay? That means you make $80 on your $1,000. Now that $80 you make next year or the following year, you're starting that year with $1080, okay? Assuming you didn't put any extra money, all right? Now that $1080 makes another 10% for you. You see how this compounds? Because it's no longer $1,000 making $80. It's now be $1,080 making another 10% for you. So it compounds that way. Now, the goal is to consistently put money in the market by doing what they call dollar cost average, which means that you invest on a regular basis and you continue to buy whether the market is high or the market is low or the market is red or it is green. The goal isn't to try to time the market and say, you know what, the market is down today, let me buy a little bit. Now, there is room for that, but I'm going to share that with you later on, because at some point when you've established your portfolio, it's okay to take higher risks, which means having some money set aside and using it to buy opportunities. When I say opportunities, maybe a significant drop in a stock that you believe could turn around in the short term or in the near term. Okay, so the second thing here is make sure that whatever you do, right, you have the ability to continue to invest on a regular basis, whether that is every month, every week, every quarter, right? Depending on what your income looks like. Depending on what your income looks like, that is what you want to do, because the consistency that you build is really what helps to grow that investment over time. And the last thing I'm going to share with you that would really change your investment journey completely, after the first one being you invest, right? And you being that you put in money into having a long-term approach, putting money into it, having a long-term approach. Second thing being that you consistently invest on dollar cost average, whether the market is high or low, you just consistently buy. The third thing is to realize that the money there is what lays eggs, all right? You don't want to kill the bird that lays eggs. And that means that you want to leave that money invested even when the market goes down. This is one of the things that people get wrong by trying to sell out at the bottom because, hey, the market has lost, 10%, 20%. Let me quickly sell out and save my money. The reality is that you've lost so much already that by you selling out, you are actually just locking your losses. That means you are actually making it permanent at that point once you sell to get out. The goal or the idea should be that you put the money into this investment and kind of forget it. That is the approach. That is the mindset you want to have. And hopefully you have no reason to touch that money, but you consistently let it invest for you. You watch it grow over time and just let it do its thing. You never sell it. You hold it for as long as you can. Now, I've covered different type of ETFs or stocks that you may want to consider, but I have to be clear with you, right? The best approach to any investment the best approach you can have to any investment is to understand that being diversified eliminates a lot of risk for you. Yes, there's still the market risk because the market can turn around and crash and all that. But as long as you don't sell and you continue to buy even when it's low, you are likely to do well long term. All right. But when you buy individual stocks of companies, your risk goes higher. And that is where you need to consider your risk tolerance to, okay, what type of stocks should I be buying and how long am I planning to hold them for? Especially of companies that maybe have high risk, high returns, right? They're very volatile. These are things that you should consider. And I hope that these three things that I've shared with you can help you to have a plan, right? Going into 2026, understanding that without investing, it can be hard to save to reach financial freedom. It is really hard. Unless you make a lot of money from maybe a job or something, then it is very hard to save up money to reach financial freedom. The best thing you can do is to invest it and invest for the long term.